Hey everyone, and thank you for tuning in live today. It is Monday, August 19th. It is noon, and you are currently watching the Skill Building Monday Drawing Group here live on the Reinventing the Tattoo Network. I am your host, Jason Leeser, and if this is working for you, please do me a favor, drop me a comment, or a note or write something in the chat box that lets me know I'm not just talking to dead air and you guys can hear me. And please tag a friend who loves tattoos. Maybe it's someone looking to get their first tattoo or someone that wants to become a tattoo artist. Tag everyone you know that loves them. It's always helpful to get a little bit more engagement in here. And without further ado, welcome to Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo Community, where tattooers, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are encouraged to join in these live streams, real world events, to share and inspire and ultimately create better art and tattoos together. With your help, we have evolved into a quality network of amazing live and on demand tattoo and art shows that have all been receiving rave reviews. You can find Reinventing the Tattoo at www.reinventingthetattoo.com. You can try it out for free. There's no obligation to get a subscription. We have three different options for you to try out Reinventing the Tattoo before you make that decision. The first option is to take a sample webinar from the Reinventing the Tattoo canon, where you get to go through and take like a little sneak peek inside what it's like to be a member of the Reinventing the Tattoo community. Or the second option, you can get some free advice from Guy Aitchison about your unique goals. This can be really helpful for people that aren't quite positive what they should really be working on, or things that they could do to really kind of help up their game. So, definitely an option for certain people out there. The third and final option is to take a comprehensive tattoo history course from Jay Brown. For fellow tattoo history nerds such as myself, the tattoo history course is absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend it. It's really comprehensive and really gets into a lot of the nitty gritty of tattoo history. At reinventingthetattoo.com, you can also find a full event schedule with weekly and special event live stream details. For example, if you wanted to jump into today's show, all you would have to do is go to reinventingthetattoo.com, click on the events area, and you can find a full calendar with links to all of the live events coming up. You can also find access to the Reinventing 24/7 channel at reinventingthetattoo.com, which has 13 different episodes going at any given time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and is available on all web enabled devices. As well, we also offer a whole host of professional development courses from over 20 world class tattoo artists, including people like Andre Malcolm, BJ Betts, Bob Tyrell, and a whole lot more, all available for purchase at reinventingthetattoo.com. You can also find us in both of the app stores, the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, as well as our Reinventing the Tattoo YouTube channel, our Reinventing the Tattoo Roku channel, which has 12 to 15 different episodes going at any given time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and is available on all Roku enabled devices. And you can also find us in all of the major podcast directories such as Apple and Spotify. Or you can do what most people do and just open your web browser and do a search for Reinventing the Tattoo, and you'll find it all, except for the book, which is still currently out of print. Sometimes they pop up on eBay for a really, really, really expensive amount of money. Sometimes you might be able to find them on Instagram for a lot of money as well, but that's also because they're no longer getting made. So there. Once again, if this is working for you, please let us know in the comments and in the chat, and please tag a friend who loves tattoos. We have a number of weekly staple shows we always encourage people to tune into. Starting off on Mondays at 9 a.m., we have Drawing for Tattooers with James Wisdom, where we go through and we discuss basic drawing techniques and strategies, helps us get back to our roots of being a fine artist in this tattoo world that we live in. Um, After that, at noon on Mondays, you can find us here at the Skill Building Monday Drawing Group. And this is with me. We go through, we focus on different skills and try to build those skills up. Helps us all become a better tattooer. We cover a wide range of topics on this show, so you never know what you're going to hear or what kind of advice you're going to get. Following this show on Mondays and capping off Monday evenings at 9 p.m., we have a subscribers exclusive drawing group with Sandy McAndrew from the Reinventing the Tattoo Network, where we get to go through and we pick a chapter every week in the Reinventing the Tattoo canon and some of the skills involved in that. And we do a deeper dive into that and try to practice some of the skills that the Reinventing the Tattoo canon covers. Maybe it's lighting or perspective or contrast or texture or color, or maybe we do a virtual tattoo that night using Procreate tools. You never quite know, but we do have an awesome lineup of guest speakers that come in all the time. So you never really kind of know who's going to show up to that class. And, you never know what you're going to pick up. Following Monday, on Tuesday at 11 a.m., we have the Tattoo Weekly Show with Gabe Ripley, Lauren Gregory, and Fawn Baker, where we get to go through and discuss different topics pertaining to the tattoo industry every week. Maybe it's new legislation being passed, or maybe there's some new policy in effect or a new standard being set forth. We discuss all types of information regarding the tattoo industry as a whole. That's Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Following that, on Wednesdays at noon, we have the Tattoo Now show with Gabe Ripley, which helps us do a deeper dive into the business aspect behind tattooing, whether it's marketing strategies or finding the right kind of accountant, or maybe it's travel visas, maybe advertising or promotional techniques. All of that and a lot more. That's all discussed during the Tattoo Now show with Gabe Ripley, and that's Wednesdays at noon. Thursdays at 6, we have the Tattoo Collecting 101 podcast with Fawn Baker. It's absolutely phenomenal. It is a place for us to go through and share some of our stories from being on the road and getting our tattoo collections, and some of the funny things that might have happened along the way. We do have a couple of special events coming up. The first event coming up is August 22nd through 26th. Reinventing the Tattoo will be live at the Hell City Tattoo Convention in Phoenix, Arizona. And we have got special guests that include Paul Booth and Mike Cole, Ty McEwen, Ron Earhart, Amber Joy, D-Rock, Oak Adams, Anna Mia, Brian Geckel will be there tattooing, Jimmy D'Alessio will be there tattooing, Pepe Carrere, Chris Mack, and of course, myself. I will also be there tattooing live. And that is coming up once again, August 22nd through 26th in Phoenix, Arizona at the Hell City Tattoo Convention. After that, we do have a very special bioorganic brush seminar coming up. Dates still yet to be announced, where we will be covering how to create your own bio brushes. Should be pretty fun and pretty interesting. I'll be covering how to go about layering different brushes to create textures, to create depth, and we might even be working with some 3D models to kind of show how that's going to appear on the skin. So it's going to be phenomenal. Stay tuned for more updates on the bioorganic brush series coming at you, hopefully in the next few weeks. So more information on that as it develops. October 24th through 27th, Hancock, Massachusetts will be the home of the Paradise Tattoo Gathering this year. This, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be a show you do not want to miss. If you are ever looking for a place to really truly get inspired, to really have a fire lit underneath you where you can go through and say, hey, I remember hanging out with this guy that I've really looked up to for a while at the Paradise Gathering. We were making art. We jumped into some collaborative art together, took a whole bunch of seminars, learned a lot of stuff, and I even got a cool tattoo while I was there. That's Paradise Tattoo Gathering in a nutshell. It is going to be absolutely incredible this year. Our lineup is absolutely stellar. And I'll rattle off just a few of the names that will be there presenting this year. Starting off with Jake Meeks from the Fireside Tattoo Network. We have Kyle Olson. He'll be in attendance and presenting. Renee Little will be there. She will be presenting. Andy Chambers will be there presenting, Mickey Schlick, Sandy McAndrew from the Reinventing the Tattoo Network. Thea Duskin will be there doing a seminar. Corey Ferguson will be there doing a seminar and tattooing. Steve Butcher will be there doing a color portrait seminar. Marcus Lenhard and Kaya Heitland will both be there doing seminars this year. Gunnar will be in attendance. He's always a blast to hang out with, man. Gunnar is awesome. Anthony Tex will be there doing a full seminar on large scale illustrative tattooing. Russ Abbott and I will be there. We will both be teaching Procreate workshops, one on 3D modeling and one on Procreate basics and brush basics. And that's just a very abbreviated list of who will actually be there. We have a whole bunch of incredible artists that will be tattooing there as well, including a very good friend of mine, Chris Mack. So if you live in the New England area, somewhere around Massachusetts, and you want to get tattooed by someone that's on that list, hit them up, get your appointments in now, because they will run out of room very, very quickly. Once again, that's October 24th through 27th in Hancock, Massachusetts, the Paradise Tattoo Gathering. Would like to go through for a brief minute and thank some of our sponsors and some of the people that make these shows happen. Starting off with worldtattooevents.com, the largest, most comprehensive resource for tattoo events worldwide. They're constantly keeping everything updated. As we know, living in this post-pandemic era, there's still a chance that tattoo events and conventions are getting rescheduled like crazy. So if you want the latest, most up-to-date tattoo event or convention information, take a look at worldtattooevents.com. It's also a great way to plan your vacations. It's how I plan all of mine. Take a look at the calendar. Anywhere you want to go in the world, any time of year, take a look. And they have events and conventions listed for the tattoo community. Would also like to thank TattooNow.com, technology for tattooers, the leading edge in professional development, management, and digital tools for tattooers of all levels. They're 100% competitive with any type of CRM, mailing list, or scheduling software out there. So if you really want to know the best way to be the most efficient in your booking process, to really help you maximize your time at the studio, and to help you recruit more clients to come in that really want to get the kind of work that you really want to do, if you really want to grow your brand strength, and if you really want to go through and get more people through the door, look at tattoonow.com. They've been doing this for over 20 years, and they are absolutely incredible at what they do. Um, their work speaks for itself. It's absolutely phenomenal what you can accomplish when you partner with tattoonow.com. Would also like to go through and say a very special thank you to the founder and inspiration behind Reinventing the Tattoo, and that is Guy Aitchison. You can find him at guyaitchison.com. Go to guyaitchison.com. You can pick up a copy of his Biomech Encyclopedia. He's got some tutorial DVDs. He's got some, I believe he still has a few custom coil machines for sale, as well as countless fine art prints and the occasional oil painting, all for sale at guyaitchison.com. Would also like to go through and say a very quick and special thank you and shout out to Amy Nichols over at the Apprenticeship Diaries. I love sending people there that are trying to get into the tattoo industry. Go take a look. The Apprenticeship Diaries with Amy Nichols. It's got a wealth of information for you to take a look at if you're interested in becoming a tattoo artist. We ask that if you like today's show, please go through, post a positive review on the channel, help us get the word out. If you would like to host a Reinventing the Tattoo event, become a sponsor of our community, or if you are looking for a fine art or a tattoo critique, you can always email us at management@reinventingthetattoo.com. As well, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down at the bottom of the page. That way you can stay up to date for all the future episodes coming to you on this great channel. That kind of wraps up our intro for today. I'm going to save this. Awesome. We can close that, and this can be closed. I just saved that, so I don't know why it's asking me to save it again. Sometimes technology does weird things. Speaking of technology, I'm very excited for Hell City coming up this coming weekend. Got a couple of convention and travel hacks for you tattooers out there. Some of you may have heard me say this before, but here's a couple of quick little things that can really help make your travel a lot easier. If you prefer to go through and book a couple of appointments in advance, which I highly recommend you do, um, one quick little tip that you can use: contact one of your clients. Okay. Maybe offer them a little bit of a price break on something and say, hey, listen, I need some stuff to be shipped out there. Do you mind if I have it sent to you and have you bring it with you to the show? Right. Most people forget that Amazon will deliver anywhere in the world. It will. Um, I I've had packages arrive literally overseas. I've had packages that bought something and mailed it out to someone from Amazon. They will deliver it in a very timely manner. It's absolutely fantastic. Why bother to take something with you when you can have Amazon deliver it to you? Or better yet, have it delivered to the hotel if you're doing walk ups all weekend. You need a massage bed? Great. You can buy one for a couple $100, take it with you, pay the baggage fees if you fly American or anything like that. Pay the $75 per way baggage fees to take your massage table with you. So there's what? $150 plus $500 for a massage table. Seems a bit pricey, right? Or you can buy a massage table for $100, have it mailed to the hotel to meet you there, pick it up when you get there, give it to a local artist at the end of the show, and you're out $100. Hmm. Which would I rather do? Hmm. Another good way to do it, another way to save yourself a little bit of time, effort, and money. If you're worried about inks exploding on you, say you're traveling and you're flying somewhere, wherever it may be, um, here's what you do: buy a couple of new inks, a couple of your core colors that you know you're probably going to use in every tattoo. Buy them from the company, have them mailed out to whatever the venue is and delivered. Obviously, care of your name, let the hotel know that you're going to have some stuff dropped off. Have it delivered there, ready and waiting for you when you arrive, right? Postal service delivers everywhere. Even hotels get junk mail, right? So it's there. It's definitely available for you to have stuff delivered to. You don't have to necessarily take it with you. Just food for thought, right? If you do use different products from different companies and you need to pack them and bring them with you, and I'm not saying this is the way that you should do it, although there are certain artists out there that do this. Um, I don't know of a whole lot of artists that'll go through a whole ounce of any given color during any show. Most companies out there, though, it's not profitable for them to sell half-ounce bottles of a color. So what do? Right? Well, you could bottle them yourself, right? Um, there are certain artists that I've seen at different shows that will actually go through and buy half-ounce bottles, little squeeze bottles, from different companies, and they will fill them up, put a sterile agitator ball in there to kind of help shake everything up. And they will kind of bring that with them to that whatever show it is. Now, you do have to be careful though. And I'm not advising you to use that method, by the way, because there's no way to check your lot number. There's no way to check, the expiration date on the pigments. And you might run into an issue where those pigments will get trashed by the health department at that show, in which case you're out not only that, amount of pigment, but you now have to go through and spend money on other pigments. And maybe your preferred brands aren't at that show. Well, that could work in your favor. Try something new, right? Um, there's obviously certain ways to get around that, but for the most part, I've seen certain artists do that, and it works pretty well. Cuts down on the weight. Instead of bringing 31-ounce bottles, you're now bringing 30 half-ounce bottles, right? It's a 15-ounce difference. And if there's 16 ounces in a pound, that's almost a pound lighter in your checked bag. Um, Food for thought, right? If you like to sit on ergonomic stools, buy one on Amazon, have that delivered to the hotel, have that delivered to a client. You don't have to pack it with you, and then you've got something comfy to sit on while you're at a show, right? Give it to a local artist or give it to the last client you tattoo and say, hey, if you want this, it's yours. If not, I'm going to trash it. $40 for a comfortable stool to get you through 3 days beats the hell out of sitting on a steel folding chair the whole time. Trust me on that. And then what you would do is you would factor that into the cost of every tattoo that you do, right? Say you tattoo one person a day for $300, right? Whatever. Well, instead of being $300, it's $310 or $320, right? Tack on a little bit extra to compensate for all the stuff that you had to have shipped out there that's now technically disposable, right? Because even if you buy a massage table, you have it delivered to the hotel, give it to a local artist. If they don't want it, you're out $100, but it still saves you a lot of money from having to buy a more expensive one and then bring it back and forth. It gets to be a lot. Um, don't get me wrong, for local shows that you can drive to, having your own massage table on hand, set and ready to go can be an absolute dream come true. Um, but this is just food for thought and different perspectives and ways to look at things, right? Make sure that you have your machines with you. Never pack your machines in your checked baggage. Do not, I repeat, do not check your tattoo machines in your checked baggage. Ever. Don't do it. Not even once. It's not worth the risk. These are the tools that you need to get through a weekend to make money. Don't risk it. And tattoo machines are expensive, right? They're pretty costly. So what I always recommend doing is I always bring those in my carry-on bag. Maybe I'll pack them in with like my clothes, or whatever, to make sure that they've got a little bit extra padding if you don't have like a machine case or something like that. Speaking of machine cases, getting a little it's like a little semi-rigid gun case, pistol case, works great for taking your tattoo machines on a flight, by the way. I've never once been stopped by the TSA and asked to explain what those tattoo machines are or how they work or what's in them or what's going on. And I've traveled through TSA with coil machines, rotary machines, pen machines, you name it. I've never once been stopped by TSA and asked to explain what they are. Now, granted, of course, now that I said that, I'm probably going to get stopped this time, but whatever. I can explain it. Not a problem. Um, but these are just little things that can really save you a lot of grief. If it's disposable and you don't want to bring it with you, say you're packing your case or your trunk of your supplies, you're ready to bring that with you and you weigh it out and it's just overweight and you don't want to be charged an extra $50, maybe take a box of gloves and don't bring a box of gloves. Buy a box of gloves while you're there. It works. It saves you on weight. It saves you on travel. You can pack more stuff. Granted, yeah, you're going to throw a bunch of stuff out at the end of the show anyway, but whatever. Not a big deal. Um, it's just little things like that that can save you a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money. I always recommend doing some Instagram or TikTok or Facebook promotion, trying to get at least one appointment a day to any given show. Um, you know, I personally like to have that, but I also like to make sure that I save time for walk-ups later. So you never quite know who you're going to meet or what people are going to want to get done. And the last thing you want to do is travel out somewhere and not really know if you're going to make any money while you're out there. But if you do one appointment a day for a couple $100, you're going to pay off the show, right? So food for thought, just some words of wisdom. Um, let's take a look at the chat box. Hey, how's it going? Yes, this is live. This is not pre-recorded. Thank you for asking. Um, you still have your Reinventing the Tattoo book from years ago? That is awesome. I have one myself. Actually, I've got the original first edition, which was a 3-ring binder. And I have the second edition, which is the hardbound color illustrated book. Both are in phenomenal condition. And they were both personally signed by Guy himself. So that's pretty awesome. I also have the accompanying DVD too. That's pretty awesome as well. But I'm always looking for another copy. I know a few friends of mine have been looking for copies for a while. So if you ever come across one for sale, hmm, let me know. Um, Sorry, I'm just reading the chats now, by the way. I feel like I should have been paying attention to those in the beginning, but sorry. But yeah, so um, make sure that you bring anything you feel you might need. Bring your own needles. Bring always try to bring everything that you need as far as like barriers, stuff like that. Your absolute basics. I always recommend bringing with you. A lot of the disposable stuff, including needles and things like that, you can check that stuff. Worst case scenario, TSA goes through your check baggage, opens up everything that you have, and you have to buy a couple of boxes of needles or just bum them off of your friends while you're there. And if you don't have any friends at a tattoo convention, get up, go walk around, go say hi to people, make friends. We all do the same thing. We're not angry people. We're not going to be like, no, this is mine. We share, right? I won't ever forget a very good friend of mine mailed a whole bunch of stuff to a show that he was going to that was in a different country, and all of that stuff got held up by customs. He literally had his machines. He did not have needles to tattoo with. He did not have inks to tattoo with. He did not have hardly anything there, but he had his machines. And because of that, he was able to go through and we heard about what was going on and everyone pitched in. And that guy didn't really use anything except for his own machines at the whole show. But that's okay because we all came together as a community and we helped him out. And he would go to different people for different things. Like he'd get, an 11 mag from this guy, or he'd get 15 mag from that guy, or he'd get, black ink from this person, or try these colors over here. Um, we are willing to help each other out. That doesn't mean don't show up unprepared. Or that doesn't mean show up unprepared, right? Don't do that. Don't just be like that guy that doesn't bring anything with him or forget something at home. You forget one thing, fine. But if you forget all of your needles at home, you got a bigger problem. Okay. Just a food for thought. Um, bring your design set and ready to go. If you like to do flash designs, like custom designs that you came up with, make it interesting, make it visually interesting. If you're just going to post up line drawings, print it out on fluorescent paper. If you're going to do color tattoos and you want to do color tattoos, print them out in color. Even if the colors aren't super accurate to what you want it to look like, at least it's something for people to look at. If you want to do black and gray tattoos, great. Do black and gray tattoos. Have fully rendered images together so people can see what it's going to look like. Don't bring anything that you find online and print off that you really want to do that you didn't draw. Please don't do that. That's just asking to be in a world of trouble. And I've seen that multiple times at different shows. It's like someone went through and literally printed off every image on Pinterest. Just don't do that. Don't be that guy. Especially because you don't know if the artist that originally drew that design is going to be at that show. Yeah, I've seen that happen too. And that gets real messy real quick. So once again, food for thought. These are just some of the things I've picked up from the shows I've worked at, um, both nationally and internationally. If you're working internationally, make sure you get a work visa. Okay. Do not travel to work at a show in another country and not have a work visa. You will not ever be allowed to work at that show because the organizers will get fined and things will not go well. So make sure that you have all your I's dotted and T's crossed. If you need help getting a work visa or you want to learn more about that, I recommend you tune into the Tattoo Now show with Gabe Ripley. I know that they've covered that in the past, and that is going to be absolutely critical. Also, check the requirements of getting into the country, please. There are certain countries out there that have travel restrictions and requirements. Um, there are certain countries right next to each other that if you have any kind of a criminal record, you're not allowed into the country. Okay? Doesn't matter for what reason, you're not allowed in. They're not going to let you in. Make sure that you know that you can actually get into the country before you sign up, spend money, and everything else. Okay? Make sure that that can happen. Okay? Once again, food for thought, things I've learned along the way, things you might want to take a look at and think about if you're planning on traveling and doing conventions in the future. Yeah. So where do we go from here? Also, don't be afraid to try new things at shows. I mean, don't go completely off the wall and be like, I don't know, I've never hand tapped a tattoo before, but I'm going to try it at the show. No, that's not going to go well. Don't do that. Um, what I will say is like maybe try a different black ink from another company. Maybe you see someone using something, a color from a company you're not used to. Maybe whatever company. Maybe you've been a diehard Eternal fan your entire life, and that's all you've ever used. And maybe pick up something. Maybe you see someone doing great color work. Ask them what brand they're using, and maybe try some of that. It's the perfect opportunity for that. Give it a go. Go around, talk to artists if you have downtime. You know, learn something new while you're there. You're literally surrounded by your colleagues, right? We all do the same thing. If you're at a tattoo convention and you're a tattooer, we're literally all doing the same thing. Talk to us. Ask us questions. You never know. You could end up with some really, really great new friends. You never really know. So that's some food for thought on that. Um, FYI, today's show is going to be cut a little short. We're probably going to be stopping in about 15, 20 minutes. I have a lot of stuff to get together for the convention coming up this coming weekend. I fly out early Thursday morning, and I'm not really a morning person. So I'm going to be packing most of the night tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday. Not that it takes me 3 days, but I also have tattoos to do at the studio in between that period of time. So, yeah, factor that in. I did want to go over some pretty cool stuff that I've been playing around with. Maybe this kind of stuff helps you guys out a little bit. But I've been playing around a lot with some 3D models from Tattoo Smart. Had Russ Abbott on here not too long ago, and we were talking about his seminar dealing with 3D models and Tattoo Smart, and how utilizing 3D models can really help change the game for certain people. Your clients can get a better idea of what a tattoo is going to look like on a specific place. I've recently sent out a few 3D renderings to some of my clients to give them a better idea of what that 3D model could look like, or what that design could look like on a 3D model in that kind of a placement. They absolutely were floored by it. And it helps them visualize what it's going to look like when it's on them. So these are things to think about, and this is some food for thought. If you have a client that's kind of iffy about like, well, I don't know if I want to bring that design up this high, or I don't know if I really want that to wrap around this area so much, throw it on a 3D model from Tattoo Smart, export a video so that they can see what it's going to look like. You never know. Some people really enjoy that, and it helps them visualize what that tattoo is going to look like once it's on them. Granted, we all have different body types. We all have different body proportions, right? So it's not gonna be an exact replica of this is the way that this is gonna sit, on this individual, right? 100%. But it can help people conceptualize what it's going to look like, right? So let's explore that a little bit better. Um, so this is just a basic 3D model arm, right? It's a female right arm from Tattoo Smart. And I forget the exact name, but I know it's in one of their advanced 3D model kits. And it's pretty cool. I'm still trying to figure out certain things as far as like where the seams are placed. And I know that we'll just create a new layer. So typically what I like to do whenever I'm laying out a sleeve, or even a half sleeve, sketching, is I'll go through and I'll, mark out certain areas, the elbow ditch. I'll mark out where like the wrist bones are, how far down I want it to come, uh, bicep area, tricep area, deltoid area, you know, just block in a couple of basic shapes and basic layers and lines of flow. It can really help save you a little bit of time when it comes down to actually laying things out. So this is back of the arm, wrapping around to the front of the arm. This whole area here is going to end up being on the inside of the arm. Okay, so that's going to be more of a secondary thought. Same thing with all of this area back here. That's all going to be on the inside of the arm. So what I'm really looking at here is, my visual plane, including the forward portion of the bicep, including the forward edge of the forearm, the tricep area, and the outer exposed area of a sleeve, right? And as we can see, we've got the elbow marked out. We've got the ditch of the elbow, the inner portion of the elbow, the crook of the elbow, whatever you want to call it. All of that's kind of marked out. You can see some of these basic lines of flow coming around onto the arm. This we can, wrong brush. Just playing around with some of the new bio brushes I've been making. Hopefully we get some people in here for a bio brush seminar where we can go through and take a look at that, explore the possibilities of working with that kind of a tool, right? So this right now. I'm just kind of doing a little bit more of like a basic flow to it, just trying to get some ideas about what do I want where, how is this going to look. Um, what do I want to have moving forward, moving back? Where's the muscle structure? Where's the visual planes going? And maybe I'll give you guys a quick sneak peek about some of these bio brushes and just see what you guys think. We'll expand this again, and we will just kind of move the opacity down a little bit. Yeah, maybe I will give you a quick little sneak peek into some of the bio brushes. These brushes are not for sale. They are only available from me because I created them. Not saying I wouldn't mind making a little bit of money off of them, but creating almost like a bony kind of brush or like a spinal column bone pattern brushy thing. For people that are out there that like, kind of like darker stuff, being able to go through and create like a bone pattern is pretty awesome and pretty fun. Gives it like a real dark, edgy kind of look. Maybe I want to play around with like a spinal column. Oh, that one's not. 1 second, please. It should do azimuth and follow stroke. Don't know why that's not. There we go. That's going to be better. Cool. Nope. Definitely on the wrong rotation. Maybe we'll try that. Nope, still bad. Okay, so we rotate it some more back to here. Much better. Cool. So maybe we'll throw like some of these, kind of like bony textures, kind of moving along there. I'm not digging that. Let's try something else. Let's go with yeah, something like this guy. This will work. Though once again, I may end up rotating it. But having something like this is kind of cool to play around with as far as like constructing and deconstructing certain textures, certain patterns. Can be a lot of fun to go through and just kind of create vague shapes and then add some texture to them, right? Um, maybe we want to add some bumps and some ridges. Give it some highlights. Fun stuff. This one's, forget if I did this one right. Let's get rid of some of this. This one's really soft. But I'll show you what we're going to do in just a minute. I'm going to bring some of this down. Cool. We'll add a little bit more texture. Maybe make this a little bigger. Nope, wrong one. Okay, so we've got some texture in there. This is where playing around and thinking outside the box can get really fun. Because with that underlying layer of texture, you can layer textures over top to create different kinds of looks, accent certain things. Maybe we'll make this a little smaller. And you're thinking, okay, so where does this come into play, right? Maybe I'll add another layer or two. Well, let's take a look. This is one of the ways that working with a 3D model can really be helpful, right? This obviously needs a lot of refinement and a lot of work, but it gives me a good starting point. So if I go back into this, let's liquefy it a bit. I know liquefy is definitely one of the many tricks that a lot of bio artists utilize. So let's try that. Maybe we'll do something like this and we'll just drag this up. Maybe we'll drag this down a little bit. We can take all of this and just kind of wriggle this around. Boom, right? And then this we would drag down a little bit. This we would drag down a little bit. Maybe we want to bring this over more, right over by the elbow. Shrink it back down a little. Warp that down a little bit. Bring this back down, bring this up, back down, back down. Playing off of different rhythms, right? Now maybe I want to go a little bit harder with my push. Maybe a little bit lighter. Oh, wrong direction there. So now we can kind of start to see something taking shape, which is pretty cool. You know, from here we could go through and take a look at it as far as like its wrapping goes. Not too bad. Need some white highlights and some other areas that are kind of accented. But we started off with some, 3D textures. We might even still be able to go through and liquefy this a little bit more. Nope, not available in 3D mode. So we have to go through and come back here. There's liquefy. Maybe I want to add a little bit of distortion to it. So that'll be kind of cool. And sometimes you just need to go through and add a couple of brush strokes with, some, maybe a sketcher. Something bigger, but a little bit more light. There we go. Maybe just add a little bit more contrast. Yeah, something like this would be fun to tattoo. I don't know about you guys, but I think it'd be fun. Now we'll give this a bit more of a drop shadow. Maybe a little bit more of a darker area up there. This will give a ridge. This over the top would be cool. Something kind of like weird and abstract and artsy, Now what we would do is we would go back into liquefy, because who doesn't like to move things around? Make this a much sharper point. Maybe we'll bring this down a little bit more. Give this a real definitive kind of shape. This can come over here. Kind of set some momentum going. Momentum is a great little fun tool. Where like if you flick your brush, it'll just keep moving in that direction. Pretty cool, pretty fun. Now we're cooking with really exaggerating some of this stuff. So let's take a look at what we've done. We'll wrap that back around. Maybe we'll go back through and there we go. Now I'm going to go through with, this guy works. Make it a little smaller. We'll add in some texture. Right. Some almost like highlighted texture. Maybe we want to, erase a little bit of stuff, but give it like a nice lighter edge. And we'll switch over to airbrush. Maybe we'll completely take out a little bit here and a little bit there. Kind of give us a little bit more of a definitive shape. And then we'll go back through, we'll liquefy it a little bit more. Take the momentum down. Maybe up at the top, we want to twirl it a bit. That'll be cool. Not really too crazy about that. We'll just continue to push it around. Might be a fun little activity for a lot of different bio guys out there. Go through, create your own bio brush set. Tools, textures, things like that you can utilize day to day that'll help make your job a little bit easier. Sometimes I'll just do like tiny little circular swirls. We'll swirl this in. And just see what kind of shape comes out. Sometimes you don't really know until you start to play with it. Maybe we'll get some backflow going in this direction. And next thing you know, we've made some pretty cool stuff just by playing around with a couple of texture brushes, right? And let's see what this looks like. That would be a pretty gnarly sleeve. If you're a bio guy, that'd be pretty cool. Maybe throw in some definitive shapes here and there. Start off with some little stuff here, some little stuff there, or just go through and accent certain things that you see, some of the shapes you made. Pretty cool, pretty easy, pretty fun. Hope everyone has been enjoying this so far. I do have to get going because I do have a lot of packing to do for Hell City, Phoenix, Arizona, coming up this weekend. Do not miss out. If you live in the Phoenix area, you're trying to get tattooed at the show, by all means, hit me up. Let me know. I'd be happy to get you right in. I still have all day Saturday available, although I am reserving half of that for walk-ups. Until then, hope to see everyone next week. Thank you for watching. My name is Jason Leeser. Stay tuned for new updates and developments on the Bio Brush Seminar series. And anyone that's in the Southwest, if you're going to be at the Hell City Tattoo Convention, I'll see you in hell.